John Dawson of Patio Daddy-O Barbecue in Boise, Idaho, and I've got it locked on the 50,000 gigawatt blowtorch of the internet that is Barbecue Central.
We'll do it live. Okay. Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
So to get that perfect barbecue, you use wood. Are you sure today? Whatever. We put the lighter fluid on, strike the match, and oh! Should we call the fire department? That might be a good idea.
All right, welcome to the Really Big Barbecue Central Show. This is the show that talks about all things important to the world of barbecue and grilling. We broadcast live and direct from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame city of Cleveland, Ohio. It is the barbecue capital of the North Coast. I'm your program host, Greg Rimpey. Happy to have you aboard here on your fourth Tuesday of the month, if you can believe it. I said it before and I say it again, 2018 rapidly coming to a close. There's no doubt about it. If you have always wanted to jump in on the show via the phone calls or the emails, here's how you do it on the email. All
You can
right.
get in touch with the show by sending an email to Greg at bbqcentralshow.com or on the Twitter and Instagrams at BBQ Central Show.
You can also lob a phone call in at 216-220-0966 if you are so inclined. Here's what's happening in case you didn't get the newsletter coming up in about 13 minutes from now. He is typically the third Tuesday of the month guest, but he has slid into the 14th. The fourth Tuesday of the month. He is a 2015 Barbecue Hall of Famer. He is, of course, Steven Reichland, and he'll be joining us. Then at 9:35, quarterly visit coming from the Keeper of the Flame, AmazingRibs.com's very own Max Good. Got some Vesta awards to talk about, plus some new things that he thinks might be trending coming up in 2018. And then we'll move to the second hour, where you will find the reemergence of the Barbecue Central Show's embedded correspondence segment. Doug Scheiding, David Huff, and Steve Ray round it out. Hey, I told you if you did a Booze Teen video or a Booze Teen collage, you would lead the show.
I'm Jason King from Barbecue Food for You. This is an exclusive video for Greg Rampey and the Barbecue Central Radio Show. A great listener named
Jason, I'm going to let go that you totally butchered my last name, and I've only said Greg Rempe for the last 12 years, but I digress.
Jeff Stone came up with an awesome idea and sent an email over to Greg. Mix KFC gravy with booze and put it on top of some fries and make Booze Teen.
Yeah.
So let's make it happen.
Let's do it.
To get this recipe together, it's pretty easy. I'll be starting with 4 large russet potatoes, 2 packages, which is 200 grams of poutine cheese curds. I have 375 milliliters of Smirnoff vodka, and the star of the show, 1 large KFC gravy.
What is he laughing at?
Start by washing the potato under some water. I like to use a soft bristle brush to get into all the holes, nooks, and crannies. So just give them a good scrub, get them all clean. Next is to cut the potato. I like to slice them in half. And then just cut big wedges into them. So if you go on an angle, go back across the angle. Get these nice home style wedges. And then I'm just going to toss them in the cold water here.
Yeah.
Let them sit for around half an hour.
Why?
And remove some of the excess starch. That is a optional step.
All right, I would do that.
Fries are cut and soaking. Try and keep them all around the same size.
Good knife skills,
Now, just
Kinger.
go out and fire up the barbecue.
Way to go.
Today I'll be using a beautiful Weber 26-inch kettle
Keep cutting
with
out.
1 chimney, hardwood lump charcoal. Get these out.
That is hot coals in the
Smoke
wind.
wood. Got a nice chunk of apple wood here. So I'm just spread these coals out a little bit. Set up your barbecue for indirect cooking. Chunk the toss, chunk, toss the chunk of apple wood on, and get the grate on. To smoke the KFC gravy, I'm gonna place it in this aluminum tray. Oh God.
What? It's like he's
Still
disgusted.
warm. I only picked it up a little while ago.
Yeah. Oh, look at that. KFC gravy. There was a shortage on that stuff before, you
Get
know.
a spoon. Don't waste any of this gold here, folks.
That's right. Gold. He's laughing again. He's mocking
And
the
then
gravy.
I'll just take this out, get on the barbecue, give it a good kiss of that applewood smoke.
Good idea,
All right,
King.
gravy's on. The applewood just start on fire because I got the lid open. And after 5 minutes, ooh, the gravy is smoking away.
What is that?
Come
Look
out
at
and give it a
that.
stir because the smoke is only going to sit to the surface of the gravy.
Kinger, is that a milk
To cook the
frother?
French fries for this recipe, I'll be using the Tefal Easy Clean
Nice.
Deep Fryer, set at 374 degrees, as high as it goes.
Nice.
I've got a real cool way to do fries on the barbecue, but you'll have to stay tuned. So.
All right.
Let's take a peek after 25 minutes.
25 minutes of smoked gravy. KFC.
Applewood's almost burned out. Gravy's got a darker color.
Look at that. Beautiful.
It's nice and hot. So now we have
All right,
to
let's
infuse
see
it
it.
with the vodka.
Here we go.
Got the bottle of vodka. It is sealed. So
It
everyone
is sealed.
sees that.
You can hear it cracking. Look
How
at this.
much?
Whoa!
We'll put it all in.
Look at this guy. Put the whole
Can't
bottle
wait
of
to do it,
vodka in.
right?
Yeah. Like it.
Give it a stir. Place the gravy over the hot coals. Fries going down.
Simmer action. Look at that. Nice.
After
Nice.
simmering away for just 5 minutes, everything is looking great.
Yeah.
Seems that the KFC gravy is eating the vodka or something. So
Huh.
it's a perfect poutine
metabolized,
consistency there.
right?
It's gonna pull it off to the side and keep
He'd
it
know.
warm.
He's Canadian.
Nice golden brown French fries coming up.
Whoa. Those fries look tremendous.
Just leave
Holy
them here. Let them
moly.
drain for a few minutes. I'll go get the hot gravy off the
Wow,
barbecue.
those look good.
Here's a nice close-up so you can almost taste the boostine.
Wow, look at that. Booze teen. But are you going to eat it? Oh, look at the curds on that thing. Tremendous curdage.
Now time for the real test.
All right.
I'm gonna dig in, give it a try. So go right for the middle. See those cheese curds.
Oh, look at
You
that.
don't want them totally melted. You still want them in nice pieces.
Yeah? What do we think? It's in his mouth. You can't see it.
Taste
can
a
hear it.
little bit of the vodka.
A little bit. But give me a rating. Give me a rating.
It's not as bad as I thought it was gonna
Oh, yeah! Booze
be.
tea!
Does that make sense? It's not as bad as I thought it was gonna be.
Did you think it was going to be that bad, Jay? How bad could that be?
Boostine is done, and that was fun. If anyone else has a cool recipe, get a hold of me anywhere. BBQ Food for You. And I came up with like 600 kilo recipes, so I'll be sort of doing something different.
600 kilograms.
Thanks for watching. Stop making boring barbecue.
That's right. Stop making boring barbecue. Booze Teen led the show. Jason, I got to tell you, first of all, thank you so much for taking the time. Look, nobody knows more than me. I think once you see a finished video, you're like, oh, you know, you shot that in like 6 seconds, no problem, easy to do. Kicked it over to Rempy. He shows it. You know, that was just under 6 minutes, I think. So that probably took, what, an hour, hour and a half of raw, maybe 2 hours of raw, and then you got to sit there and start splicing it down. I know there was some wind issues going on there, so there was probably a lot more outside stuff that he cut out just because he wanted to make it easier for the podcasters to listen to. So there were probably multiple hours of raw time investment that he put into that for that 5 minute, 6 minute clip of wonderfulness. And like I said, gravy would not make its way out of the news cycle at all for almost 3 weeks of the show. There was gravy cocktails. There was a shortage of gravy. Then the listener, Jeff Stone, said, make gravy poutine. I mean, you got to be kidding. That looked absolutely fantastic. People in the instant chat saying, hey, you didn't put bacon on there. I think the traditional poutine does not have bacon. It's just cheese, fries, and gravy. But Jay went one level up and dumped, I don't know what that is, but that was like what I would call the short bottle that you can get behind the desk at the liquor store here in the States. Oh. Tasted a little bit of the vodka, but didn't taste as bad as he thought it was going to taste. How bad could it taste? Here's the key component. I'm wondering how much alcohol, like ABV, actually cooked off during the simmer process. Like if you ate enough of that sauce, could you drink that sauce and get drunk? That's what I want to know. Because I know sure as hell you can get from that. Cheese on fried potatoes with a gravy vodka topping. Booze Teen, brought to you by my man, Barbecue Food for You, Jason King. Kinger! He's got still shots if you want to entice your friends and neighbors. You could also make Booze Teen on a Traeger grill if you wanted to, or any grill for that matter, but I'll talk to you about Traeger here for just a couple minutes. Traeger, one of the newest sponsors here on the show. TraegerGrills.com is the place to go to find out more about all of their technologies available. If you are just getting into pellet cooking, if you've heard about it, you see the craze that's going on, you want to have kind of an easy barrier to entry, then you want to look at their pro model, their pro level of cookers. The Pro Series, I guess is what it's called. So you have a couple different sizes to choose from. A lot of good technology in here. More of a conventional look, has the chimney on it. You can cook some decent capacity in there. Not a lot of bells and whistles per se, but if you're looking to get your feet wet into that pellet market, this is the Traeger line you're going to want to look at. Now, maybe you're a pellet fan already. You're looking to up the game, get all the tech, all the capacity that you can get. Then you're going to want to check out that Timberline portion of the products offering portfolio, the 850, the 1300. Really great cooking capacity, multi-level shelf options, integrated wood pellet hopper. You got cutting board that's magnetic. You got all the wire fire technology that you're going to be needing. It's all cloud-based too, by the way. So as long as you're connected, you can be anywhere in your house or city or state or country, and as long as you can connect in via the Wi-Fi and get into the cloud, you can actually operate your cooker from anywhere. Adjust temperatures, check internal temperatures of meat, all that good stuff. You get it with the Traeger brand of grills. That's TraegerGrills.com. The Timberline, which is the high end, then you have the Pro Series, which is the entry level. Again, both really good bang for the buck. TraegerGrills.com. That's TraegerGrills.com. Check them out. And thanks again to Jason King for making the Booze Teen. Jason saying that he could taste the smoke in the end. So, vodka front, smoke back end. Interesting. You could see it in bars coming to a Canadian watering hole near you. Jason, copyright that. Hurry. I want 20% of royalties, as is customary. All right, Steven Reichland coming up. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Broadcasting live from the Barbecue Central Show studios in Cleveland, Ohio. You're listening to the Barbecue Central Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
This portion of the show being brought to you by Butcher Barbecue, makers of award-winning injections, marinades, rubs, seasonings, barbecue sauce, grilling oils. All of Butcher Barbecue products tested on the competition circuit. Hence, I believe, RGC and GC for Dave this past weekend. I know he was in a double. I know he pulled off, was it a reserve or a GC? One of each. He had a really good weekend. Be the pitmaster of your neighborhood. Visit butcherbbq.com and stock up now. That's butcherbbq.com. Always trust your butcher. Hey, my next guest is seen here typically every third Tuesday of the month, but this week we slide them back and check out the fourth Tuesday of the month. Stephen Reichlin is offline. Oh, that's not good. Why is Stephen Reichlin offline? Lover. Might have to resort to phone here in 1 second. Let me pull up the old Skype directory and see if there's another Stephen Reichlin Skype account. Oh, that's it. Just not there. Well, all right. So now we will go. Hopefully, I have a phone number. I don't. I actually I do. I think. Let me go back to Skype here. Type in Stephen Reichlin. Stephen Reichlin home. Now this could be a swing and a miss. Hoping that he's home, I guess. I don't know. We'll see it. 2015 Barbecue Hall of Famer, TV show host, barbecue cooking class instructor, multiple time author, perhaps the most prolific live fire barbecue and grilling author ever to have graced the live fire cookbook stage. Let's go ahead and race to the Traeger Grills hotline and welcome back friend of the show, Stephen Reichlin.
5775-5152. Thank you.
Darn it. Stephen. No. Hey, Stephen. This is Greg. All right. Well, now we've come to an impasse. So I have to text him now. See, this is where we get into the weird portion of how much time are we trying to get a guest? And where does the payoff come in? All right, what number did I just call? I'll try him on a cell phone here. So that was that number. All right. I'll try this number instead. Next time I'll save this number. I can tell you that. I'm not going to do the Tim Shear mistake and let his number play out. Okay. I'm going to just take it off here and see. Maybe he's taking a quick pre-show nap. Could be. Let's see if this connects. Well, this isn't even the right number. Damn it. Come on. Bear with me. We're getting there. We are getting there. Let's do this. Yes. That number. That number. That number. All right, let's see what happens here. Look like that. How did that number come back up? Maybe he doesn't realize it's... Maybe he's watching the Cavs play the Heat. That could be it. I always hate to have the phone ringing in the background, but this is last-ditch effort stuff right now. Oh, this is bad news, I gotta tell you. Interesting stuff. Fax number? What? Unbelievable. Let me try one more thing. Okay, let's do that. Showtime. Boom. All right, so Steven is on the clock. We got about 13 minutes left with him if he gets back on, which is fine. Steve D, come on now. It could be once in a forever instance when Steven has blown the show. Huh. That sounds weird. That's all right. This will give me time to tell you about, if you missed the open of the show, you're going to have to go back and get it on. And I must encourage you this time to get it on video because there was a video portion of the show that just took place that was absolutely tremendous. Jason King made the Booze Teen video. I said, hey, if you make a Booze Teen video and you send it to me, it will lead the show. I held up my end of the bargain because Jason King came forth and said, hey, I'm going to make a Booze Teen video. You would recall a number of weeks ago, Mike Lang was on the show and did a lobster poutine. He had just found out about poutine, said he wasn't making a lot of trips up to Canada. I make not a lot of trips up to Canada as well, but I knew about poutine. That was like a thing people know about. It has nothing to do with my relation to where Canada is either, hours away, but I like to know about good food. Just so happens Mike was just finding out about it. He was adding crab or lobster to the mix, so he did step it up. I got to be honest. But in the midst of the KFC gravy craze, I said, well, I didn't say, but Jeff Stone, a listener of the show, said, why don't you take the gravy cocktail and then put the gravy on the poutine since that's part of the poutine? Make it a Booze Teen. Then I threw down the gauntlet. I said, if you can make Booze Teen, I will lead the show with it. And that's exactly what happened. Crazy. It was a great video. So you're going to have to go back and get the video so you can see the whole thing in its glory and majesty. Homemade fries, for crying out loud. He didn't go oven fries like I would have, probably. He went homemade tater fries. Absolutely incredible. So a number of you were asking me over the last week, and I think it literally happened right around midnight a week ago, through the rest of the week up until really yesterday, what's going on with the website? That thing is trash. I can't get on. I can't get replays. Most importantly, I can't order a shirt. I get that. I mean, I bought them to sell. I have a gross of shirts sitting right across the monitor screens for me. Slowly but surely trickling out. Now, I called my provider and I said, hey, for the last 10 years, 11 years, I've had no problem with my plan whatsoever. I've had no problem accessing my website from the virtual internet. But now all of a sudden I have a problem. I'm getting timeouts. I'm getting 500 connection errors, blah, blah, blah. I don't know what it means. Can you please help? Well, let me tell you something. The people that are being paid to be experts are not experts. They're horrible. Horrible. Phone call after phone call being told you need this. The next person saying, no, you don't need that at all. This is what you need. Well, finally, they said, you need a virtual private server. It's going to cost you X amount more. It's going to take care of all the issues. That's what we started putting in place late Friday. Name server changes need to take place. Propagation needs to take place throughout the interwebs. That can take 24 to 48 hours, maybe 72 in worst case scenarios. That's what I like to deal with, or in worst case scenarios. And then finally, it started to come back online, but not everywhere. And it was kind of intermittent today. And I called back in to No Names Please hosting company, which, by the way, for 10 years, I've been totally happy with, never had an issue with. Paid my $120 a year, no problem. Well, now, I don't know if it's mere coincidence or if it is solely because the shirts were being released last week. The text says, well, I'm going through, I'm like the third level expert here, and I'm trolling through your logs, and I have to tell you that you have a total increase in traffic, and your podcast feed is being hit like crazy, and there's absolutely no way that you can stay on this, but you can't be on the VPS that they told you, right? You have to go dedicated server. I'm like, what? Dedicated anything sounds like dedicated cash. Now, please be aware, I have no problem spending money if there's going to be ROI, but there's got to be ROI. I got to know that if I'm going to pay you now, instead of $120 a year, I'm going to be paying you $110 a month. I'm going to get something for that. I'm not going to have downtime. So the next time I list something to sell, limited edition, I'm not going to crash out the next day for a week. And by the way, as I'm relaying the story of the last 7 days to you, please be aware that potentially starting tomorrow, I could be running into some downtime issues as well because I have to repoint name servers to the new dedicated server, which will take place maybe in the next 24 hours. You know, communication is key. Keeping the customer informed is key. So you don't want to have the customer being remorseful every second that he is talking to the expert. You want to avoid that. It's kind of common sales practice 101. Avoid the remorseful buyer because they're likely to bring that back. Luckily, the guy that I got today, I guess, seemed to know what he was talking about. I got discounts because this has been going on for a week. And I think by and large, the website is running okay. Like if everybody opened up another browser and scampered over to the old website, see if you get a 500 connection error or some kind of a connection error. As a matter of fact, the point of this whole rant was to show you that the T-shirts are up on the website. So here we go. This is the website. Up at the top, there's a thing called products. You click on products. Then that brings you to this screen. Now look at here. Look, here's a handsome devil right here. Let's call him Josh. Here's the front of the shirt, Barbecue Central Show on the left. The back of the shirt says, "We'll do it live."
We'll do it live.
That's right. Exactly that. We'll do it live. It's kind of become a catchphrase of the show. And now you have your sizes. Extra large shirt right here. Double extra large right here. Triple extra large right here. And quad extra large right here. Corresponding prices there. So let's say you want a double extra large shirt. Click on view item. And away it goes. It just goes away. That's all. No problem. Where did it go? Come on. Well, you'll have to take my word for it, I guess, because it's not showing up anymore. That's fine. I'm only trying to show everybody how the freaking website works. Yeah, but who needs it? Anyway, can this get deleted immediately, please? Wow. All sorts of great ideas here for the show earlier, but man, they are tanking very quickly. So let's do this. I'm going to show you anyway. I'll show you a different way. Come on. Slow internet now. Don't like that at all. All right, so we'll pull this page over here. We'll go to this. So all the way up at the top right here, you see where I'm circling? It says products. Here's your shirts. Click in one. That's the thing I was hoping to see. Control F5 on that. That should reload the page. Does everybody know Control F5? That's a nerd thing that I don't think a lot of people actually know about. And now you get a nice description of the shirt. I have no idea why the top and the bottom here show the same thing. That's highly annoying, but I have no way of figuring out how to get that out of there. The official shirt of the Barbecue Central Show, it's premium quality. They call it a tri-blend, I believe. Super soft, very durable, nicely printed. This extra large shirt's $24. That does include shipping to your door. And I got plenty of extra large, double, triple, and quads at the moment. And you can check out, so hit buy now, and then you can check out right here. Very simple. Email, name, address, drop your payment info in the next screen, and away you go. Very easy, very simple. So if you're interested, hook it up. Now, if you don't like that style, if you follow me on Instagram, or Facebook, you saw that there is also a, whatchamacallit, second option logo that my cousin Glenn made. That my cousin Scott made. Shout out to Scott. So you can go to Amazon.com and search the BBQ Central Show, and you will see a short sleeve shirt and a long sleeve shirt with the option 2 logo. Very nice. If you deal with Amazon, if you're a Prime member, it does qualify for Prime shipping, so you can, I guess, have it in 2 days. I believe that one can only go to 2XL. So if you want 3, 4, or 5, you're going to have to get the premium shirt on the website. But the option number 2 logo is in the Amazon store. Very easy to deal with. So if you've bought one of the, and I've seen a couple sales go through already, just newly listed today. I'm really wondering what the quality of that shirt is. So Rob Coling is saying it's a good-looking shirt. Is that the second option or the gray option, Rob? Raleigh Smoke saying we want Cleveland, the barbecue capital of the North Coast shirt. I don't know about that. Yeah, Glenn or Scott, yeah. Both, by the way, my cousins, Glenn Rempe, Scott Rempe. Scott is the artist. Glenn is the guy who I have fully credited to my getting into the barbecue world in general in the first place. Okay? Let me head over here. I got an email from Robert Cootie, or Cood. Sorry, Robert, or Rob, if I'm pronouncing this the wrong way. Subject line, backyard barbecue lost a great one. Greg, if you could please put a shout out to a fellow podcaster, Mike T at Learning Backyard Barbecue. He lost his life to a heart complication the other day. Really motivated a lot of people to get out to grill and smoke food. Considered it a great loss. Prayers to his family. That's from Rob. I had not heard of Mike T before at Learning Backyard Barbecue, but when the untimely happens, never a good time. That's too bad. Always like promoting the word of barbecue, that's for sure. Getting word at this point, people now 5 years in a row are submitting me for Barbecue Hall of Fame. Thank you. You'll notice this year I have not made any push about Barbecue Hall of Fame. I have not said, hey, this is the year, the balloting is open, make sure they're in by this time. I've completely gotten off Barbecue Hall of Fame schneid because I have something to talk about at the top of the second hour, which may or may not relate, but geez. This person saying, I voted or I put in my nomination. This must be 5 years in a row. At some point, he has to get on the final list of the mystery committee to choose the finalists. And therein lies the problem, right? No names, please, emailer, telling me that you've nominated me, which I appreciate. The issue is we have no idea. We have no idea what the hell is going on. John Dawson weighing in. Remps, I'm sorry to hear that you've had website problems. As a software engineer who works in the web e-commerce daily, I highly recommend that you kick them to the digital curb and move to Squarespace. You'll pay far less than $100 a month, and you will thank me later. All right, well. Snap decisions needed to be made, but I'm not locked in long-term contract or anything like that, so. Hey. All right, so that was Steven Reichlin right there on the phone. Hello, Steven? You there? No. Not sure what happened. Rarely does he miss. He's probably going to want to reload for next week, but I'm kind of already loaded. Hey, Hey, Big Papa Smokers, the one-stop online shop for all things barbecue. Their curated selection of only the best outdoor cooking and grilling supplies get you on the path to better barbecue results in no time. Everything at Big Papa Smokers has been Pitmaster approved by Sterling Big Papa Ball himself. From award-winning rubs and sauces to American-made grills and smokers, Big Papa Smokers has everything you need to be a better outdoor cook. Whether you are in the backyard or on the competition circuit, Big Papa has something for you. They're known for the popular rubs like Cattle Prod, Sweet Money, Cash Cow. Big time on the circuit and in the backyard. Also, part of that West Coast offense. Simply marvelous barbecue. According to the market on what competitive cooks from across the country have begun to aim for, no doubt about it. Big Papa Smokers is also the proud owner of the award-winning Granny's barbecue sauce. Looking for a new go-to barbecue sauce that will please everyone? Granny's traditional yet powerful flavors that remind us why we fell in love with barbecue in the first place. Find Granny's barbecue sauce and other top-rated barbecue sauces at BigPapaSmokers.com. And aside from their premium selection of rubs and sauces, Big Papa Smokers also offers a variety of pellet, charcoal, and wood cookers available. Looking for a versatile cooker, easy to use? Check out the Mac 2-Star General Pellet Grill. The Big Papa Smokers has the exclusive Mac dealer online, also offers special packages. If you're not into that, you can look at the M Grill. If you're looking for something durable and easy to use that will last forever, they're built like tanks. The M Grill. If you're not sure what grill you need, you can't go wrong with what's featured at BigPapaSmokers.com. They have something for every kind of backyard cook. So here's what you do. Boost your barbecue skills with the help of Big Papa Smokers, the #1 online barbecue store. Call them toll-free at 877-828-0727 or shop BigPapaSmokers.com. That's BigPapaSmokers.com. Max Good coming up out of the break. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Ready to get on the air? Call 216-220-0966. Now, let's get back to the LeBron James of barbecue talk. Greg Rempe.
All right. This portion of the show is being brought to you by cookingpellets.com. I just used some cooking pellets earlier. Yesterday to cook chicken wings. Your #1 quality source for wood pellets for all your pellet-driven cookers. Visit cookingpellets.com for more information or to purchase. You can also purchase them through Amazon.com if you want. Either way, doesn't matter. Cookingpellets.com or Amazon.com. You tell me which one you want to use. Don't forget to download their app. It's free, and it will alert you to free shipping ideas. It's got great recipes, and be sure to check out all the cool flavors that Chris Becker and the gang over at Cooking Pellets are bringing to the market. All right, Max Good from AmazingRibs.com is in tonight to talk about some HPB Expo, some Vesta Award winners. We may or may not have some questions for him, so we race to the hotline and welcome back the keeper of the flame, Max Good, to the show. Max, how are you, buddy?
Doing all right. Good to see you again, Greg.
Good to see you, Max. Always appreciate you making time for the show here. And as we get going, absolutely, as we get going here, I know it was probably getting on 3 weeks ago, and I was there last year. It was the HPB Expo. Now, I have to tell you, in all honesty, I found the show to be, kind of enlightening for the first time, but by the end of the show, I was like, I don't know if I would go back on my own. Maybe if somebody said, hey, tag along, or as I did at NBBQA, do some live shows in one of the booths and bring some of the exhibitors in. Might have a little bit more of an entertainment and value for me. But as somebody who goes to this more or less every year to kind of see what's new coming out and see what additions or upgrades might be made to some existing products, how did you find the HPB this year in Nashville?
This one I thought was particularly interesting. I can see from your perspective, your comments. However, for me, it's good to make that connection with the manufacturers, and I often see people that I know. We always walk the fine line at Amazing Ribs manufacturers sometimes come to me and say, we're looking for a partnership with you. And I say, no, we do not have partnerships with any manufacturers. We have relationships, but you have to be willing to accept our ultimate judgment of your products. And that goes out to everyone before they send us anything to test. We always say we're going to post it, whether it's good or bad, and they have to accept that. But that said, even people that I've given bad reviews to, it's valuable in my view to press the flesh, see them face to face. It doesn't mean that they're necessarily everything they make we feel is not worthy of our readers, but it's good to have lines of communication open, I think. And I think there's a certain amount of trust has to be there. They know that we are going to give them a fair shot.
So are they actively seeking feedback from you, even if they're getting a negative review? Are they saying, okay, we appreciate the overall scope here, but what in particular can you give us as feedback so we might be able to make those improvements and get a better product to market?
Yes, that does happen. Even with some of the big players, they've said to me, we're listening to all the criticisms we've heard about this particular model. And of course, we are talking about it. Whether they make the changes we suggest remains to be seen.
All
but
right.
it does sometimes happen.
Max Good joining us from AmazingRibs.com. So you were also part of the Vesta Awards judging, or you were a judge on the Vesta Awards. And for the folks that don't know, those are awards that are giving out for the show. There's a whole different part of HPB aside from the barbecue and grilling aspect. There's like the fireplaces and the heaters and stuff that really has nothing to do primarily with barbecue and grilling. That seems to be its own little section. So let's stay focused on that. What was the best thing that you judged as a Vesta judge?
Well, I would say the one that we had kind of mixed feelings on, but that I mentioned to you and in our communications leading up to this, was the Evergear rotisserie system. I forget what they're calling it now.
The hub.
But the hub, yes. Because we were looking at the thing, and it's the design is so impressive, but all of us were saying, well, geez, it's so different from what we've seen.
Yeah.
How do we know it's going to work good? Now, on the other hand, Heston Blumenthal, the famous chef, there he is. His restaurant has a Michelin 3-star rating. He's the guy that designed a lot of this stuff, so you got to think he knows what he's doing. But it was so different that we wondered what's the performance going to be like. But at the end of the day, as we were banging around ideas and we've literally put our hands up to vote on things one by one. We ultimately said this was the one thing that really made us go, wow.
Yeah.
That is wild. The way it was designed was something else.
And you had you have the telescope. I think the thing that was most impressive, I mean, the look is pretty cool, right? But then you had those telescoping rotisserie arms that shot out of either side of that unit.
Yeah, when the guy showed it to us, the first thing he did is he pulls an electric cord out of the side of the thing and plugs it in. And it's got an electric igniter in the middle of the charcoal tray. And he goes, all right, this is what you do. You dump charcoal in a pile in the middle. You turn this on. It ignites the charcoal. Once it gets hot and ashes over, you spread it out. Then those two columns that you saw on either side that support the rotisserie, they're just round, shiny steel columns. You pop them down and they're spring loaded and they pop up to a couple different levels, as I recall. And the rotisserie motor is hidden inside of one of them.
Oh, really?
So the spit is also hidden inside of the body of the device itself. He pulled the things out, puts the spit in. It's all really beautifully designed. So, and then there's a grate that goes over the coals, so you can not only use the spit, you can cook directly over it as well. And I don't know that they designed this in, but the cabinet underneath has a double door. You can open it up, and there's 2 levels underneath a shelf, and then the bottom. And he said the middle shelf can be used as a warming area as well.
Right. So when I see Heston, there's also a grill manufacturer that's Heston. Are they completely independent of each other, or
Yes,
same guy?
they are absolutely independent.
Oh, wow.
And I questioned them about that, and I said, "Do you guys worry about that?" They said, "Well, we're not worried about it because we have to call it Heston by Everdur by Heston Blumenthal, and I don't know, the guys at Heston were really, nobody talked about it. Didn't seem like a big deal to anybody.
Well, I mean, if you've ever seen a Heston grill, not the Heston Blumenthal thing that we're talking about, but a Heston gas grill, you can't confuse either one of them. I mean, from an aesthetic standpoint, they are completely independent.
Yes. However, would you agree with me that if I told you if you knew nothing about them, and I said, look at these gorgeous, colorful, unusual things, and they're made by the same company, I guess if my mind was blank, which it often is, Greg.
Yeah, I hear that.
I would be willing to believe it.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So what was the price point on the Heston?
That one, I believe, was about $2,000, but they haven't really rolled it out in anywhere as far as I know right now. I mean, if it is rolled out, it's a very soft rollout. It seems to be pretty new stuff. They are working. Everdur, my understanding, is an Australian company, and they were making more commercial equipment. And when Blumenthal came in there, they started coming up with these things that are more geared for residential use. So it's very new. Very new.
Is that going to be sold through dealer network, or are they going to pull through like the fireplace shop so you can get educated on that, or what?
I would think they're going for the
higher end shops,
indie guys, yeah, because it is a little unusual. Nobody was talking about doing big bucks stuff.
All right. The other one that you were talking about was a Kamado style cooker called the Vision.
Yes, Vision, Icon. They have 2 brands. They're dealing with all these multi-channel things. I admire people that can do that. They're in Home Depot. They're also in the indie dealers as well, and they have quite a few different models. But what's very interesting and unique about them, yes, is this. They started out with just having an insert like that. Only it started out just being an ash disposal tray with an electric fire starter element built into it, and it had and it still has 2 radial dampers. So one is for coarse and one is for fine. And they said, what we're trying to do here is eliminate the complaints about all charcoal burning systems. If people that opt for a gas grill or a gas smoker will say, well, I know charcoal is interesting and maybe it tastes better or whatever you want to say about it, but I don't want to mess around lighting it. I don't want to get my hands dirty with charcoal and moving the ash and all this. That's how they started out with this thing that just was a slide out. That was a slide out ash. That's it right there. And it also has an electric heating element in it. So you just stick that heating element in, fire up the charcoal. When you're all done, you pull the thing out, dump out the ash. And then they were like, well, geez, they got a good response from different dealers and outlets. And they started thinking, what else? So they came up with this gas insert. You slide it in, and each of them is about $250 extra. I should say that ash thing comes standard, but the gas insert's about $250 extra. But the idea there was they're responding to people that go, well, I really like my Kamado, but on a Wednesday night I'm tired. I just want to fire up a gas grill. They said, well, here it is then, And now what they won for was they came up with a pellet smoker insert. And my first thought, other than, well, that's cool, but why do I need a pellet smoker on a Kamado smoker? They said they're really easy to use. I can smoke anything on a Kamado. And the guy, the owner, goes, Max, you can, but some people can't. So, it's kind of like the same idea with the gas thing. If you don't want to mess around with it, if you just want to pop it in there and smoke up something quickly and easily with no muss, no fuss, there it is.
How do you, how big of a pellet hopper is on that thing?
It's less than 10 pounds. I got to admit, I don't have all the ins and outs on it. They haven't even rolled it out yet. I go, You guys won an award. Where is it? It's not on your website. What's going on? Oh, it's coming out in a couple months. But I mean, it was well thought out. You could see they had a couple different options on it. And I guess I must admit, when I'm smoking something for a party, and I'm often busy testing a lot of other things, if it doesn't fit into my testing schedule and I just need to smoke something, I usually do go to pellet smokers because they're simple, they're easy.
If 2016 was the year of the pellet smoker, and I think that's probably actually continuing over the last couple of years with its popularity. Definitely. If 2017 might be the year we could call the year of barbecue technology, you had the CyberQ Cloud controller from Guru came out, the Wirefire from Traeger, all this connectivity. What do you think 2018 might be the year of?
I think it's more of a continuation of people wanting to branch out into smoking and be a little more adventurous, more technology, acceptance of smokers, whatever the type of design. The two that are still big on and coming up on the residential side are the Kamados and the pellet smokers, I believe. I think when you start getting into the gravity smokers and offsets and all, the people that are successful with it are very dedicated. Yep. Barrel smokers, what have you. But Kamados are so easy to use. Pellet smokers are even easier to use. And of course, people still want to grill, just your flat out gas grill, charcoal grill. I can't say that there's a huge trend that's new for this year. I think it's a continuation of the last couple of years.
All right. One last question here. We got about a minute or so left and completely divergent off the product stuff, but how's Black Swan treating you?
Oh, well, thank you for asking. It's actually, well, we got our first, as you know, we export our sauces. We got our first order into Indonesia, which was quite a feat.
Look at you.
Yeah. They don't like, the government frowns upon imports. So they make you jump through a lot of hurdles, but we had somebody that I met at a show for food export, and they really liked our stuff, and there we go. We also have a new distributor in the United States that's in the Midwest exclusively. They're called Fortune Fish. They deal with gourmet items. People go, Fortune Fish? What does fish have to do with barbecue? But it's a gourmet group. It's a nice fit for us. Thank you for asking.
You got it. It's Max Good. He is the keeper of the flame over at AmazingRibs.com, and we will see him here again next quarter, hopefully with some really cool reviews and feedback and all that stuff. But as always, Max, I appreciate the time.
And me too. Thank you, Greg.
You got it. There he is, Max Good from AmazingRibs.com.
All guests appear via the Traeger Grills hotline. Yummy.
I gotta say, from a fidelity standpoint, I don't know if we've heard Max sound any better than he sounded this evening. So very happy about that. You know, the constant struggle between, do I continue to use Skype solely? Do I, I'd made that transition to IPDTL, which I used to do the live shows for MBBQA. Always trying to up the ante and push the envelope. All right, let me talk to you quickly about Southside Market and Barbecue. Attention, folks in the business of barbecue. What do you know about Southside Market and Barbecue? Well, let me tell you something. They've been established since 1882. Southside Market and Barbecue, the oldest barbecue joint in Texas, period, and has been owned and operated by the same family for 3 generations. They offer premium Central Texas barbecue products, slow smoked over real post oak wood. They have shipping and distributing manufacturing sausage for companies across the U.S. From food trucks to multinational chain restaurants, Southside Sausage can be on your menu too. So if you've opened a barbecue restaurant, you got the meats down, but you don't have the sides, and you know you want to add a sausage, nothing good is around you, don't be messing around. Get with Southside right now. They will hook you up. They will be your supplier. All meats processed in the on-site USDA-inspected facility. Who else has that? Trusted partner with a focus on quality and authenticity. Wholesale options available. They got shipping nationwide via the FedEx. Food service distribution via Cisco, U.S. Foods, Martin Foods. They got all the majors covered. They got company packaging capable from R&D to package completions. They can follow your recipe if you have one. And maybe you just don't have that commercial kitchen in order to produce that sausage in any type of capacity. You can forward them your recipe. They'll help you tinker it up and then produce. Or they can help you develop something brand new. Also, and this is really big, in sausage and in beef jerky, by the way, private label. You can take something that they make. You can slap, for instance, Barbecue Central radio show, beef sausage. And all of a sudden, I make beef sausage, but it's private labeled from Southside. And who else would you want making your sausage anyway? That's easy. Some margin in there, too, for you businesses. Don't be sleeping on the private label. Visit SouthsideMarket.com for more information. That's SouthsideMarket.com. And now, special code time, whether you're a business or just a normal consumer like me. You can get 10% off all online orders at SouthsideMarket.com if you use code BBQ Central. Okay? 10% off online orders at SouthsideMarket.com when you use code BBQ Central. So you saw me cooking those sausage slammers over the weekend. A lot of you were asking me about that. Get 10% off. That's going to knock quite a chunk off the shipping. That's code BBQ Central at checkout. That was Max Good. We're back to wrap the first hour right after this. Stick around. You are listening and watching the Barbecue Central Show right here on the Barbecue Central Radio Network.
Big name interviews, advice on cooking brisket and ribs, and the only host willing to share his honest opinion on all things important in the world of barbecue. It's the Barbecue Central Show.
By the way, how cool did that hub look? Which is the guy's first name, and then I don't know what the middle initial is. Maybe that's his middle name, and then Heston. Was it called the hub? I don't know. Anything with a rotisserie that's hidden away that you can pop out at a moment's notice and use. The plug was in one of the columns, so was the motor. That's great. Pretty cool charcoal grill, 2Gs. So something along that line. You're looking at that high-end M grill, which is about $1,800, which is the M1. They also have B2, which is really popular on the state circuit right now. The B2, although M1s are out there as well. That won the Heston Award. Then the Vision. You know, what's your take on that? If you have a Kamado-style grill, would you want a product that has a gas burner insert so you don't even have to mess around with the charcoal? Slam it in the bottom vents, connect the gas, the quick hookup, turn it on, and away you go. Now that Kamado is a gas grill, and evidently a pellet grill. I smell a show guest coming in the future. Love to talk to that guy about it. And about the absolute laziness and demise of the American public. Jeez. All right, Max Good, AmazingRibs.com. That's where you check him out. I believe next quarter he will also be talking about a Camp Chef grill that he's talking about. That's a wood pellet grill. That's a name that you're hearing more and more about, Camp Chef. All right, let's get ready to reload for the second hour. Embedded correspondence segment happens in the second hour. And I have an Awards of Excellence rant that you will want to stay tuned for or run away from now while you have a chance. Refresh your drinks, kick back, and get ready for the second hour. This is the Barbecue Central Show. Stick around. We'll be right back.
everybody. This is Gary Vaynerchuk, host of Wine Library TV, a.k.a. WLTV, and this is BBQ Central.
Happy to have you aboard here for the really big barbecue show.
Boing.
We cook because we have to, and we grill because we want to.
Hit me.
Fine, how's it going?
You have a great show. I'm a big fan.
Boing.
So what seems to be the problem here? This man looks like he's dead, and he's in the crackle. Charbono! It's all about the Charbono, dude!
Succulent fish. What?
He ate 54 wieners. Oh, listen, Lavernius, shut your face.
I'm shaking like a dog shit peach seeds.
We have top men working on it right now. Top men.
All right, just like that, we are into the second hour. Welcome aboard. This is the Barbecue Central Show, where we talk about really neat barbecue and grilling related items. Live fire most of the time. Sometimes nothing to do. There it is again. Why am I in this shot? I should be in this shot. I should be in this shot. There we go. We do this show from the barbecue capital of the North Coast and the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame city, Cleveland, Ohio. If you missed the first hour, fear not. Stay here, catch this part of the show live, and then subscribe to the podcast. By the way, if you already subscribe to the show via the podcast, please take time to rate and review the show. If you have a Android device, or if you have an iOS device or Apple, you can go into that particular native app that houses the podcast and then give a rate and review. Please be honest and brutal with your rating. Although I love to read all the great 5 stars, there is a very seedy portion of me that does like reviewing the 1 stars. I love to see what people hate about it. A lot of people hate the same thing about it, and it's overblown. The ads and the sound effects and all this other stuff. If you really take the time to go back through the balance of the show and look at how many minutes of content you get versus how many minutes of ad, it's way more content. Now, whether you like the content or not, don't lump the content that you don't like also into the sponsorship reads. Don't do that. That's not fair. You might not have liked the fact that I had to improv 13 minutes for Steven Reichlin off the top of my head. You might not have liked that. That doesn't count as an extra 13 minutes of sponsorship read. By the way, do you have any idea how tough that is to go 13 minutes unprepped, waiting for the guest, knowing about 8 seconds into hearing that first message, things were going south? And when do you pull the plug? Let's pull the plug when there's 15 minutes left. That sounds like a great idea. All right. Once again, still to come on this show this evening and or 11 minutes from now, the Embedded Correspondence segment. We have a lot of really cool topics to talk about, such as, and or therefore, moreover, non-barbecue crushes, 10 best barbecue folks' favorite barbecue sides. And I'm going to weigh in on all of those as well. Steve Ray from Tennessee, Doug Scheiding, the official Texas embedded correspondent and longest-running correspondent of the show, by the way, Dave Huff from Oklahoma, all rounding out the panel. All right, so as you are aware, going on 2 weeks ago, I took the bird to Fort Worth, Texas, and kind of took part in the National Barbecue and Grilling Association's IM BBQ 2018 conference. The original idea was for me to get down there and do a little in-kind promotion. They were waving the the conference fee for me to get down there. I was going to be doing live shows. I was talking it up on the way in for about 5 weeks, 6 weeks prior to me showing up, mentioning I was going to be down there and you should come over and all this other stuff. That I would be interviewing some of the people that were involved with MBBQA, either leading up to the event or during the event, and then getting key interviews and generating buzz, but going live on Facebook a Thursday, a Friday, a Saturday, 3 hours a day. Well, Thursday, they had the Awards of Excellence ceremony. Awards of Excellence. And I believe for a number of years they've had the same categories. This year, they added, I think, a whole different side to it, like the audio and video and picture side. And I don't care about the video side, even though I do have a video portion of this. I don't care about the pictures, none of that crap. The only thing I cared about was the barbecue audio series. Now, full disclosure, in order to get an award of excellence, in order to be considered for an award of excellence, you had to pay a $75 entry fee. Needless to say, I was a little skeptical up front. I'm paying $75 to get into the running. How many other shows are going to be there? Most importantly, who in the hell is going to be judging? I've been doing this show for 12 years. How am I not on the judging panel, number one? Number two, because I've been doing it for 12 years, who the hell is going to be judging me? I want to know that. Because that might not make me want to spend my $75. If they don't have a background in media and they don't have a background in podcasting and they don't know how to produce a show once a week, twice a week, 3 times a month, or whatever it is, what classifications, what experience, what savvy are they bringing to the judging table? So anyway, the top 6 were announced. No, that's not right. The top 3 were announced. Now, mind you, I was put in a terrible predicament. I paid $75. So if I win, then everybody's going to go, yeah, you won. You've been doing it the longest. You paid $75 for an award you won. Or what's worse, and what's happening, you couldn't win, and you're going to be sour. Yeah. No shit. You're going to pay $75 and not win and look at scorched earth a week or 2 later. Well, we're here. Number 1. Actually, let's go. Yeah, let's do this. Here's who won. Here's who won Best Audio. By the way, that was a little premature. A series is defined as a minimum of 6 audio programs that were originally aired within 2017. Each individual audio broadcast may be of any length. 3 episodes must be submitted for consideration. 3 episodes? I have 12 years to submit if I wanted to. Winning! And I've been a guest on their show, and I believe one of the co-hosts was a guest on my show a little while back. The Rub Podcast. My review of every show down this line has nothing to do with the hosts, or are they quality people or not. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with the fact that all of these shows, I think, haven't even been around, most of them, for a year. What? If I'm not mistaken, the Rub Podcast put out 27 shows last year. 27. I think I put out 50. So I did double their work. Also been doing it for 11 more years. They win. By the way, Rub Podcast has put out 0 new content this year. 0. And I believe the last one they put out was a look back at the highlights of 2017, was a best of. Didn't even do 52 episodes, you're doing a best of. point of note, I was at NBBQA and did 9 hours of live broadcasting right there. Within that 3 days, I did 3 more shows and 9 more hours more than the show that won Best Audio Series. I did that. Number 2, Smokin' Hot Confessions, Australia-based. I think Ben Arnott is the guy's name. Maybe he's been doing it a longer year. Second best podcast, Smokin' Hot Confessions. How about Smokin' Hot Bullshit? Number 3, best barbecue show. Best? Third best. Texas-based. Not doing it a year, I don't think. 4th, Behind the Smoke podcast. Am I losing my ear here? Hold on a second. Ugh. Losing my ear there. There we go. Behind the Smoke podcast. Again, great. Don't get me wrong. Great individuals. I met Sean, hung out a lot with Yoni and Stover from Best Barbecue Show. Great guys. I'm not sure if Behind the Smoke is truly a barbecue podcast or if it's a business and marketing podcast that has some barbecue housed around it. By the way, Sean Walchef, great guy. Derek Marceau is a hashtag true meat man and one of the biggest human beings I've ever seen in my life. That dude could eat my lunch in a heartbeat. So, Derek, no disrespect. By the way, Derek was a D1 football player at K-State, also played pro for the, what's the team down? San Diego Chargers? That's how big of a human he is. By the way, he had a friend that was like 1.5 times bigger than he was. Those two dudes could have trashed everybody in the house. So that's your 4th best podcast. 5th best podcast? This show. 5th best? 5th best. I get 5th place, no mention. No mention on the stage. I should be getting a Lifetime Fucking Achievement Award for 12 years. Again, I did 9 hours of live broadcasting during that week. 3 shows, 9 hours of live. 2 hours the Tuesday before that, then turned around 2 hours Tuesday following that. Yeah. That's your 5th best podcast. Hence the phrase that's going around the town nowadays, 5th string wizard. Just call me the 5th string wizard. $75. I don't know how that happens. Sour grapes. Rempy, it's sour grapes. Let me read the emails. Wow, sour grapes. You're damn right it's sour grapes. As a matter of fact, we're well past sour grapes. We're right into straight vinegar, homie. Straight vinegar. Wait, I got you on this one. Save your email. Rempy, if you would have won, it would have been a different tune. You know what? Fucking A right it would have been. It would have been a way different tune. It would have been the I won tune. Hey, I told you I live in contradiction. This is my life. I am wildly and always contradicting myself no matter what. So if you're going to sit there and say you are whining and crying like a bitch right now because you paid $75 and you got ranked 5th, yeah, I am. And if I would have won, I would have been like, everything's great because I'm a walking contradiction. That's just the way it is. But the show that wins number 1 can't have not produced any new content the first quarter of the new year. What? Get that big stuff out of here. And by the way, to totally discount my rage against the non-production of content, Jimmy Shotwell and I didn't meet Forrest Goodman in person at the NBBQA, but I met Jimmy. Great human being. By the way, makes really great rubs. I like him. I'm just saying, I did like 9 times more content than any motherfucker there. All right, that's it. Now we got to get to the embedded correspondence segment. I got to stop yelling because my ear keeps... There it is. I think a wax is plugging my ear. Hey, We talked about technology with Max Good here a couple minutes ago, the barbecue guru. Longest running sponsor of the show. We always believe outdoor cooking should be easy. You believe it, I believe it, so does the guru. And it can be easy, especially with the Monolith Barbecue Guru Edition grill. The Monolith is the world's first temperature-controlled smoker with a built-in power draft fan. This means smarter control, greater freedom with automatic temperature control. Easily choose your cooking time and temperature and let the Monolith do the work of a sous chef or a barbecue pitmaster. With minimal effort, you now have oven-like precision at the grill, and you can serve the tastiest, juiciest meals each and every time. The coolest thing just came out from the Barbecue Guru, and I'm hoping to get my hands on one a little bit later in the week. Do you follow them on social media? The Rib Ring. It's got 3 different chambers. I think you can eventually put it's either 5 or 6 semi-trimmed St. Louis-style spare ribs in this rack. It fits in a large ceramic cooker. I could probably buy 2 of those and put them right inside my legs. I could be cooking 10 racks of ribs in that thing. Easily double the capacity. The Barbecue Guru can be found at these particular haunts. BBQguru.com, not the BBQguru.com. Or you can call them, of course, at 800-282-GURU, 800-282-GURU Guru, or again, bbqguru.com. And they continue to be a breakthrough in barbecue technology. We are back with the Embedded Correspondent segment right after this. Stick around. Be right back.
The only show giving you a monthly visit from a doctor of barbecue. A man actually named Meathead. The author of a barbecue Bible. Bloggers, reviewers, competitors, and manufacturers by the dozens. It's the Barbecue Central Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
Hey, championship pitmasters are winning with Smithfield, and you can too. Commit to cooking with Smithfield this 2018 barbecue season, and you will receive smoke and swag just for participating. There's only a few requirements. You pay a small shipping fee of $25, and you have to be a member of one of the sport's major sanctioning bodies. Be sure to come back and track your first prize finishes in pork and ribs and win some of the great prizes through the Walking with Smithfield incentive program. Show the Smithfield love by hashtagging Show Us Your Smithfield on the Facebook and on the Instagrams. Limited to 500 people. I actually probably have to make sure that that program is still open. So, Emily, I will be contacting you directly. Yes, I will. Let me dump that real quick. All right, so this is the part of the month that everybody is really coming to love. It is the Embedded Correspondence segment. So without further ado, we welcome back Steve and Doug. I believe I just saw David drop off the line. Did anybody have David on the line? David, are you there? No? Mm-hmm. Anybody get a message from David that he wasn't going to be on this evening by chance?
No, he was there and then disappeared.
Yeah, all right. Let me hang up with you guys. I'll try him right back and see if I can't reconnect. Just stand by. Well, he's not showing as available. Say that. All right, you guys are there, right?
We're here. Here.
All right. That's good. All right, so we're going to roll without him because that's what we do. That's too bad because he's got a pretty good take to go. So worst comes to worst, if he doesn't call back in, I'll... David, are you there? Looks like he's there, but... David, you there? No. Okay. Nevertheless, here's what we do. We go to a Tennessee correspondent. We'll go to a Texas correspondent. I'll be the guy from Oklahoma later. Is that good, Doug? Is that what Oklahomians sound like?
Yeah, you've got too many teeth, though.
Oh, look out, everybody.
Let's pile on.
Yeah, all right. So, Doug, let's go ahead and start with you and tell us your hot take for the Embedded Correspondent segment tonight.
Okay, my hot take is the non-barbecue chef crushes that you mentioned on the beginning of the hour. So I've got a few for a variety of different reasons. Probably my first one was Bobby Flay. I love sauces, just like the KFC, gravy. You can never have enough gravy. You can never have enough sauces. So I started doing some of his sauces from his cookbooks, and I loved his Throwdown show. I just loved him going into different places and competing against people. Aaron McCargo, he was the winner of the season 4 of the Food Network Star. He actually is the one that got me started in cooking, because the same weekend I put Coke on my battery acid on my battery terminals to clean the terminals. I saw on TV, and Steve, you can relate to that, I'm sure.
No, I can't.
No, you can't. Okay, well, I did. But anyway, that same weekend, I saw him put Coke in his ribs, and I'm like, that's pretty interesting. If it'll clean up my battery terminals, it'll certainly tenderize some ribs. Another one is Alton Brown, and I have to confess that I used to think his show Good Eats was really corny.
Yeah.
Now I really like it, and I've got over 100 episodes TiVo'd. I think I'm into season 5 or 6 on this, and I can. And when I watch it, I'm kind of a nerd, and my engineer background. I have to take notes, so I take notes, and I can't do it and do other stuff at the same time. So I've got about 100 on that.
Aren't those dated, Doug?
They are dated. But cooking is cooking. Now, I do have to say that for all the stuff that Alton Brown knows, he doesn't know barbecue. I mean, he the last, I think, barbecue episode I saw out of a terracotta planter or something like that. He made a barbecue grill or something. Yeah, I'm like, okay, all right. But I like Justin Warner. He actually was one of the finalists in the Food Network Store's show as well. He is very creative, has no culinary background, and kind of an interesting, very similar to Alton Brown as well.
Doug,
I guess that's about it.
Hold on one second, David. Mute yourself. David? If you're going to come back on, mute yourself for crying out loud. There you go.
Oh, there we go.
It's like we're dealing with rookies here tonight. Come on, Oklahoma.
Hey, we're getting back on the Skype train.
Here we go.
So no Ina Garden. I'm sorry, Greg, but then from a female standpoint.
Now hold on a second, Doug. Now hold on a second. Like, why not?
Well,
I mean, don't tell me no, like to put it in my face and not give me a reason. I'm going to challenge you.
I've watched her show a few times.
Yes.
It's just.
You don't like the fact that she cooks with real butter? Do you not like the fact that she lives in the Hamptons? Do you not like the fact that she knows how to cook on a Weber kettle grill? Like, where is she striking out? You don't like the fact that her husband's name is Jeffrey and he has all these fancy friends that she likes to cook for? Like, what don't you like about her?
I don't like the nickname Barefoot Contessa.
You got to be kidding me. Jeez, you're pretty critical, I got to admit. So you're gonna go for Giada De Laurentiis, whose head is incredibly out of proportion for her body. That's who you're going to go with?
No, it's kind of like it's an ant. She's shaped like an ant. So
crazy.
No, she's annoying, and the tension that she has with Bobby Flay on the next Food Network Star is a little annoying. So no, not a Giada fan. I do like I think her name is Alex. I'm going to butcher it. Garnicelli from Chopped.
Yeah.
The judge from Chopped.
Yeah.
She freaking cook. I think she's beaten Bobby Flay at least once or twice on his show, on his new show. So, okay, all right, Steve, I could see you shaking your head.
No, my wife was going to close the back door and make a lot of noise. That's why I was shaking my head. If we're talking about favorite Food Network people or TV cooking people,
just crushes.
Yeah, chef crushes. I mean, I'm not afraid to admit I have a Bobby Flay crush.
Me too. I do. I'm in love with Bobby Flay. He should be in the Barbecue Hall of Fame more than that dope should be.
I like to watch Gordon Ramsay. I like the way him smack talk down those people when they serve them on that
Hell's Kitchen.
No, the other one. What's the one where the people they whittle them down to 1 or 2 people?
Oh, Master Chef.
Yeah, Master Chef. I like the way he gets on them pretty good,
Yeah.
and that's entertainment, and that's all television cooking is entertaining. I'm an Ina Gardner fan.
It's Ina Garten for crying out loud.
Garden. Garten, right?
Yeah, Ina Garten. Yeah, don't get my ex-wife's name all confused here. My future ex-wife.
Yeah, I'm a Food Network fan. We watch. I like. And Greg, now don't have another head explosion.
All right.
But I'm a fan of Guy Fieri's grocery games, not Triple D so much, but the Triple G Guy's grocery games. I like it. Our buddy from Getting Basted was on the other couple weeks ago.
Brad
the
Leinecker.
bacon.
Yep.
Yeah, and he won, and I thought that was great. I think that's kind of a creative little show.
I have to tell you, and I do want to make sure that we are 100% Waterford crystal clear on this. I like.
Andrew, you are not.
I like Guy Fieri. I love his personality. I like when he hosts TV shows. I would love to hang with him. When I drank, I would like to throw beers with him. All of that. He just should not be in the Barbecue Hall of Fame. I don't have a gripe against Guy being Guy. I have a problem with somebody putting that guy and that person into the Barbecue Hall of Fame. That's the only thing I have against it. I like him otherwise. I'm a big fan.
Yeah, I am too. Hey, what about that guy from Cleveland, Michael?
Michael Simon.
Yeah, have you ever met him? Have you met him, Greg?
I have not.
Andrew, you are
he was
not.
from Cleveland.
Yeah, well, he's from Cleveland, all right, but he ain't too Cleveland to me, I guess.
Oh, okay.
All right. Anybody else?
I thought you maybe like Knights of Columbus buddies.
No, we go to the Spitz, but that's about it. No names, please. All right, David, who are your crushes? Your chef crushes?
Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you. Do you not have a camera?
I don't know what's going on. It's on. I can see you guys, so I have no idea.
Is the little camera icon hashed out on the bottom when you hover?
Let's try this.
Ah, there you go. Look at this.
Boom.
Thank God I'm here.
No kidding. Hey, it went better than the audio the first day at the BBQ, right?
Tap your microphone.
Yep. Actually, that mic won't work. I'm having to go on my iPad.
Got it. Okay, I got it.
All right.
That's just for show.
Right.
Now, hold on a second. Now, you just wait a goddamn minute. Did you just throw an NBBQA blast in my face? What are you talking about?
I would not. You're so worked up tonight. There is no way I would attack you like that, Greg. No way.
I mean, I'm not the guy talking into the microphone that doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
Okay? I just want to make sure we point that out. You're talking into that thing like it's working. Meanwhile, I appreciate you selling it, but it ain't that. All right, go ahead with your chef crushes.
So I got to agree with Doug. I'm a big fan of Alton Brown.
Yeah.
If you can just get past all of the silly sketches and things that he does on the show, I learn the most from him. Mm-hmm. The science behind the food. I think you can put it to work on a lot of things you do, not just barbecue.
Would you?
So I really like Alton Brown.
Would you say he's kind of like Meathead before Meathead, almost to a certain degree? The way he kind of breaks it down and puts science to it and all that stuff.
I would. I'd say the science with it. He really. I mean, again, bringing big foam cows to show how you cut a cow apart and taking the insides out is a little bit silly, but. It works. So, and I also have several episodes of Good Eats on my DVR, and my wife wants to delete them all the time, but I don't let her do it. Obviously, her cultural opinions aside, I was a fan of Paula Deen, just from the Southern style cooking that she does.
Yep.
Banana pudding, collard greens, chicken fried everything.
Butter,
I grew
everything.
up on that stuff.
Yep.
Yeah. So. And then this is kind of an obscure one, but there is a chef by the name of Francis Malman. And if you watch The Chef's Table on Netflix, season 1, episode 3, this guy was an Argentinian chef. He worked at 3-star French Michelin restaurants, and he left it all to go to a private island in, I forget the name of it, Patagonia. And if you want to go there and have him cook you dinner, it's like a 2-hour boat ride, a 2-hour car ride, a hike up and over the mountains. And at his compound, he has no gas. He has no gas. He has no electricity. Everything he cooks for you is live fire cooking. And I saw on the episode he caught trout out of a lake. It was a lake trout. He dug clay out of the earth right there beside the lake, embedded the trout in the clay, started a bonfire, cooked the fish for people right there on the bonfire. And it was amazing. He cooks bread directly on the coals, caveman style. The skills that he has to be able to do that so rustic and still be a Michelin star chef, that's my kind of idol.
Okay, so here are my crushes. In the beginning, so kind of, my mom inspired me to be interested in food, per se, but I didn't really take an active role in cooking very much, but I love watching it on television. So the Frugal Gourmet is I think the very first guy that I used to watch on television. His real name is Jeff Smith, but everybody knew him as the Frugal Gourmet. Does that ring a bell with anybody, the Frugal Gourmet? Did anybody watch it? No? Doug, not you either?
Is that pre or post Julia Child?
Oh, that was after. I mean, this
Okay.
this would have been,
checking.
probably late 80s.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Yeah. So then it was Justin Wilson, the Cajun guy, Wondamus and all that. You remember Justin Wilson? Anybody? No? Okay. And
Absolutely, the accent.
Yeah, and then Martin Yan Canton Cook. Does anybody remember Martin Yan?
I don't know that one.
What the hell's with you guys? Jeez, oh Pete. Time for some new correspondence here. Big fans of
Martin Yan.
You didn't know anybody. You didn't know Martin Yan. You don't know Justin Wilson. You don't know Jeff Smith. Hello. And then, current day, again, I love Guy. I thought all of his cooking shows were really good. I'm 50-50 on Michael Simon. I don't care if he's a Cleveland guy or not. He seems to be okay, but it always seems like he's doing shows that people have already done once. Like that latest one with the barbecue thing.
Have been done.
Yeah, but I really love Bobby Flay. Like, that guy totally inspires me. I think he gets a hugely bad rap for everybody calling him a New York D-bag, and he's an a-hole. He's got a bad attitude. I think if you're not from New York, you don't realize that it's not an attitude. Like, that's just the way he is. He's a fairly confident guy. He knows what he's talking about. He's successful in many different venues. So I don't know where he's a bag, maybe because he's got a hot wife and he's very successful and people are jealous bastards, maybe. But also he does share a passion of horse racing, which I share too. By the way, from the same facility, his father used to take him to Saratoga Racetrack, which is where I grew up going to the racetrack too. So we have kind of a kindred spirit there. But when it comes to the ladies, I mean, I have a T-shirt that says "I heart Ina." So to me, that she is a full boat, knockdown, deadpan, 110% winner all day long for me for a variety of reasons, mostly because of her money and she can cook really good. So those are my chef crutches. All right, David, let's go to you next.
Sure. So everybody knows that barbecues, meat is usually the star of the barbecue. And what I want to talk about are the side dishes. Some of my favorite barbecue restaurants have excellent side dishes. And when they pay as much attention to what they're serving along with the barbecue, to me, that puts them a step above the rest. So I was just curious what you guys have seen, either you've made or eaten at a restaurant or somebody's made for you as far as side dishes. Some of mine, I was fortunate enough, my company that I work for is headquartered out of Wooddale, Illinois, which is where Sweet Baby Ray's has their restaurant. And they do a really good job with their side dishes. And they have a green chili mac and cheese that is phenomenal. And I actually try to mimic that with my catering. That's one of the side dishes that I've tried to, it's not quite there yet, but I'm doing my best impression. I know it's a big, large chain, but Jack Stack's has a cheesy corn bake that is absolutely phenomenal. Non-traditional sides. I've had savory bread pudding before that I really like to help, sop up some of the juice from the barbecue. There is a restaurant here in Tulsa. It's probably the most famous. Well, I won't say the most famous, but it's definitely the busiest. And their gig is they cook everything on hasty bakes inside their restaurant underneath the biggest vent hood that you can imagine. And if they don't cook it under it or on a hasty bake, they don't serve it. So everything they make, from smoked mac and cheese to baked beans to my favorite, which is a hot potato salad, which is a little different. It's not quite German style, but it's got a little sweet and sour, and it's got some peppers and onions, and it's just more interesting.
Andrew, you are not. Sorry, that was my fault.
No problem. a couple final things. Anywhere that serves collard greens, I'm a big fan of greens from the South. And then there's a little restaurant in North Tulsa that the sweetest lady called Al Mead runs it. And every time you order barbecue, it comes with a side of her sweet buttermilk pie. And I just think that's fantastic to finish off the barbecue meal. So that's some of the ones that came to my mind.
All right, Steve, favorite barbecue sides?
Mustard style potato salad. I love it. I'll eat it before I eat the barbecue.
Really?
Yeah, love it.
Do you make one yourself?
So what?
You make one yourself?
No, I can't make potato salad. But I love to eat it. I eat all kinds, like German potato salad, anything with potatoes in it. I love it.
What else?
Potato salad, of course, French fries.
Wow,
but that's not on my keto diet.
You're a starchy guy, right?
The Little Debbie is very much.
All right, hold on a second. Let's go back to that. What's going on with keto, David?
I am down almost 30 pounds in 2 months.
Look at you.
Yeah.
It works.
It's going really well.
Steve, if you could just keep up with the rules, I think you'd be all right.
I'm a keto failure. I live in Ooltewah, which is right next to Collegedale, where Little Debbie's factory is. You try living here.
No.
And staying on the keto
I hear you.
diet.
Yeah, you're
the truck comes by and they throw out the cases to everybody.
Yeah, I love
everybody around here.
I love what's hanging over your I love what's hanging over your right shoulder there, by the way. Much appreciated. What do you mean? What is? There's Butcher barbecue products all over the place there on the back.
Oh yeah, Dave stuff. Yeah, I try to keep it.
I can see that. Doug, we got about 50 seconds before we go. Well, you just go ahead and tell. I'll float out here a little bit.
Okay, I'll disagree on the potato salad, although I will tolerate a hot German potato salad and no coleslaw. So those were not on my list.
You will not eat any potato salad? Like he said, mustard potato salad.
No. I just seen
nothing.
Yeah. No. Q39, their white bean cassoulet. It's kind of like a white bean soup. It's fantastic. The pinto beans at Cooper's, it's going to be primarily Texas list other than the Q39. Pinto beans at Cooper's, which oddly enough is the only free thing there. Otherwise, take your black Amex. It's fairly expensive. I'm a sucker for smoked mac and cheese, so that green chili mac and cheese sounds great. I actually do make a very good one. I also like the one from Truth Barbecue, the number 5 on the Texas Monthly list.
Yep.
They put a little crispy bacon on top of their mac and cheese. Cream corn from Killen's Barbecue in Houston, Texas. I'll give a reserve grand champion to Rudy's Barbecue, which is a chain down here in Texas. I like their cream corn as well. That's probably not on the keto diet, but butter green beans with bacon from Don's Barbecue in Austin. And it's very simple. It's just a lot of butter. It's like green beans out of a can, the little short one, and a little bit of bacon. So love that. Dessert at Killen's is fantastic. All of their desserts are fantastic. Their pecan pie, bread pudding, carrot cake, banana pudding. I've had them all. They're great. And I don't know, Greg, if you had the collard greens from the NBBQA, and those were from Pecan Lodge.
Yeah, they were great.
That was fantastic. Yep. Probably some of the best collard greens I'd ever had. So that's just a list I came up with.
Yeah, I agree, Doug. I was going to mention that the collard greens there were absolutely spectacular. I've just literally in the last 3 months decided to get in or try collard greens. And I tried it up here where I have the number 1 ranked Cleveland barbecue restaurant called Barbecue Smokehouse over in Parma. Now, look, from a very holistic sense here, I could give a rat's ass about how good the sides are at any barbecue joint. If the sides are stealing the show, you own a shitty barbecue joint, number 1. Now, if they are good, okay. I mean, that's great. But I'm going to eat the meat, the barbecue. That's really what I am there to evaluate and take in. That being said, Barbecue Smokehouse, the guys there, well, now it's just Danny. John had left with his wife and went to Oregon, but they have like a fine dining background, so their mac and cheese isn't just like some run-of-the-mill mac and cheese. It's like in a bechamel sauce. There's some back-end heat to it. It's very rich, very grown-up mac and cheese. Like kids probably wouldn't dig it, but if you have a bit of a broad palate and you like some refined flavors, then that is going to be absolutely incredible. They put a little pulled pork on it sometimes if you ask them to. Their collard greens are absolutely spectacular, Doug. I think that the next time you get up to Cleveland, we have to go there for a collard green review. And then they also make a really good brisket chili, but that's not every day because most of the time they sell out of the brisket, so there's no reason to make brisket chili if you're out of the brisket. So those are some of my favorite sides. I make a pretty good mac and cheese at home, which, by the way, happens to be some type of a variation off of the Mac Daddy mac and cheese made famous by who? Guy Fieri. Now, he calls for 6 strips of bacon. I use 2 pounds of bacon in that recipe, which is probably why, like, the next day it's all greasy and stuff at the bottom, but, fat's flavor. So that's a big hit around the house, but those are just some of my favorite sides. But again, if I'm going to a barbecue, I'm not going to eat the sides. I'm going to eat the barbecue, the main meats, because that's what it's all about for me. So we will come back and talk to Steve, and I may or may not have a take on something. So, gentlemen, you hang out here just for 1 second while I, as they say in the biz, do a little business and talk to you quickly about Green Mountain Grills. Some of the best pillow cookers out there on the market today. 3 different sizes to choose from if you're looking for something that can house a lot of food. Maybe you got a big family or you like to entertain quite a bit. No problem. The Jim Bowie is the one you're going to want to check out. It comes in a regular, also in a Wi-Fi connected capacity. And then you have the middle of the road, the Daniel Boone. So, in my estimation, without pans, you could probably get 4 pork butts on there if you wanted to, maybe a little bit more depending on how you TP or squish them together, but you want to leave some airflow. Maybe 3 in a pan if you're a pan cooker that way. And then the tailgater and or most transportable version is the Davy Crockett. I think you can get at least 2. If you TP them up, you probably get 3 pork butts in there, so you're not sacrificing an incredible amount of capacity for portability, and that one can also be plugged into your 12-volt outlet in your car, so you have a variety of power options there. Don't forget the Green Mountain Grills also supplies pellets for you to fire those pellet-driven cookers. Now, the Daniel Boone and the Jim Bowie have one big advantage that doesn't come with the Davy Crockett. You can also get the high heat pizza oven insert. Say that 5 times real fast. So you pull the guts out of the Daniel Boone or you pull the guts out of the Jim Bowie, and then you sit this pyramid in reverse over the top of the burn pot. It's got a stainless steel cover, and then you put the pizza stone on top of that, and then you got a hood that you put on top of that. Set the cooker at 350 degrees. That's going to get you to about 700 degrees on the stone there, and you're off and running. You can make temperature adjustments from there. I don't like 1,000-degree stones, so I don't mess with that. I like to set mine right around 315. That puts me in that 610, 620 range, so might add a minute or so to the cook. But hey, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. I mean, what's the deal? You have a big pizza party, you're whipping pizzas out in 2 to 3 minutes. Everybody's happy. Everybody can make their own pizza. Wildly entertaining. And again, it's like $150 or less. So get that if you're going to get the Jim Bowie or the Daniel Boone. It goes great together. A match made in heaven. GreenMountainGrills.com. That's GreenMountainGrills.com. And we are back to get Steve's hot take for the Embedded Correspondent segment. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Continuing to produce incredibly mediocre content in an exceptionally professional way. You're listening and watching the Barbecue Central Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rampey.
All right, welcome back. This portion of the show brought to you by Fireboard. Monitor up to 6 different temperatures simultaneously, connected to Wi-Fi or cloud-based monitoring, or connect via Bluetooth if you want. And if you have Alexa or the Google Assistant in your home, you're in luck, because Fireboard is fully compatible and is integrated with both of those, constantly learning new skills. Visit more by going to fireboard.com or call 816-945-2232. Folks at Fireboard. All right, so we talked about barbecue sides. That was David Huff's take. One around the room there. Now we go to the embedded correspondent from Ooltewah, Tennessee, Steve Ray. What are you burning on tonight, Steve?
Hey, this is my 5th year in the barbecue business. 5th year.
Wow.
And now I came to the game late. I know a lot of you people out there are whoop-de-doo. Doug, you're probably a 30, 40-year veteran of this stuff. Greg, you've been doing this for 15 years. I know I came to the game late, but I have had a incredible journey so far, and I hope it's nowhere near over. And believe it or not, fellas, there's a lot of big egos out on the barbecue trail. Have you ever noticed that, Doug? David?
No.
Never.
Yeah.
Never.
Some people aren't nice. Some people aren't nice.
Wow.
Some people aren't nice to me.
What?
But you know what? I have found, and I have racked my brain. I know. I rewatched the interview you did, Greg, with Aaron Franklin.
Yep.
And he was a great guy. And in all the interviews you see with him, he's always very pleasant. And then ESPN came out with their top 20 dominant athletes of the last 20 years just this week. And that was an interesting take. So what I did, I came up with the 10 nicest people I have met in my 5 years of barbecue.
Can you quantify nice?
Yes. Attentive, informative, taking time with you, not doing something else while they're talking to you, giving you attention, your full attention, and just being one-on-one. And number 10, where's that drum roll?
Hold on.
You have a drum roll.
Christ.
Number 10 is none other than Dr. Barbecue. We met him in Nashville in 2014. He was doing a big green egg exhibition in Nashville during it was an MBN KCBS contest I went to, and he took the time with us, not only showed us how to prep ribs, but he said, hang around, and he made us these dessert fajitas that he spread chocolate and some sort of a jelly filling with, and cooked them on the big green egg and gave them to us.
Nice.
Super great. He probably doesn't remember it, but I remembered how nice he was. Number 9 is Chris Grove from Knoxville, Tennessee. Chris is a blogger, and I think you know him, Greg. Doug and David, y'all might not know Chris, but if you go to Nibble Me This, that's his blog site. He comes down from Knoxville and helps us out a lot during our small contest down here, and couldn't be a nicer fella. Number 8, Tuffy Stone. The 2 times I've met him, I've been at the Jack, and the last time this past October, he was nice enough to spend an hour with Doug and I doing a radio interview. Only had to ask him once, and he was on time. As a matter of fact, he was early, and he was one of those, Doug, he came early and stayed late. Number 7 is TJ Wehunt. Now, you may not know TJ by name, but you've seen him if you've watched Barbecue Pitmasters. He is the pit boss of Jack's Old South barbecue team. TJ lives here in Knoxville, and he has helped me a lot, talking to me about barbecue and explaining things and telling me about Jack's Old South. Just a super nice fella. My number 6 guy is Randall Bowman, the KCBS president. Randall comes up and does our small contest here in Ottawa, and he brings a little star power with him, and I always appreciate when he comes. He's coming back this summer to do the Ottawa Barbecue Brawl, and he usually leaves with all the money, too. I think that's probably one of the reasons he comes up. My number 5, ironically, Mike McLeod of the WFC. Couldn't be a nicer fella to talk to. Mike's like, when you're talking to him, he's like kind of talking to a spy. He's like he's holding back stuff. But his passion for what he does, and he's a sharp fella. And if you ever get a chance to have any time with somebody in this business, seek out Mike. And if you get a chance to talk to him, he's a super nice guy. Number 4 is a double. It's Qinator. That's Michael Swanson and Alan Guyton. They have a barbecue team here in Chickamauga, Georgia, which is just south of us. Michael and Alan helped us a lot out when we first started. We cooked right next to them in the first contest that we did. And I didn't know a smoker from a recliner. And they showed us stuff. And I mean, they showed us, Doug and David, stuff like adding leg extensions to your prep table so your back doesn't hurt. That's how green we were. And they showed us how to do stuff like that. So they kind of raised Owl's Nest Barbecue up with them. Number 3 is Mike Mills. A couple years ago, I was at the Jack, and of course, everybody was hovering around Mike, and I was doing a little side job for a local newspaper. And Mike was nice enough to take an hour out of his busy schedule at the Jack and gave me an interview, which was to this day one of the most favorite interviews I've ever done, was talking with Mike Mills. And I enjoyed the one you did too, Greg, down when you were in
he was
Fort
great.
Worth.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Number 2 is Dave Bosca. I've become a business associate with Dave by selling his rubs and sauces. When we went to the Jack this year, David had us over to his comp trailer. His brother Martin was there, and his other buddy was there, and he brought us in out of the rain and talked with us, and just couldn't have been nicer. And when you do buy stuff from him, you can always pick up the phone. He's very helpful. He wants to know how's it going, and he'll reach out to you. And if you're in the barbecue business, if you have a retail store, if you're not carrying Butcher barbecue products, you're really doing yourself and your customers a disservice.
Agreed.
You need to get on. You need to get on the train and get that. And the number one.
Oh, jeez. I mean,
drum roll.
10-1. Get the drum roll. Okay.
Number one from Uncle Bud's Barbecue is Dave Amen. I don't know if you guys know Dave. David is a KCBS rep. He's a KCBS pitmaster with Uncle Bud's Barbecue, and I'm pretty sure Dave is a judge as well. He is without a doubt the most helpful person. If you go to a barbecue contest, he will, whatever you need, if you don't have it, David will give it to you. He will offer you advice. He will, if you asked him to cook the meat, he'd probably do it. He is that kind of a fella, and I've enjoyed every time I go to a contest. I always seek Dave out. We cooked next to him at the WFC, and it was just a pleasure, he and his wife. And those 10 people are the ones that have made the most impact on my 5-year career, and I just can't express enough how much I thank them for being nice and informative and making this whole barbecue journey a lot of fun, and can't wait to keep it going.
Dave, do you have any best barbecue folks that you've met or nicest people?
Sure. I agree with Steve. Dave Bosca, I met at a contest early on and went up and introduced myself. He was nice enough to let me come with him into the back of his rig and see where he does his magic, and told me if there was any questions I ever had, anything that I wanted to know. He just was a very warm and friendly guy. Of course, his products are fantastic. And for him to be as popular and well off in the industry as he's just a down to earth, and you'd never know it when you meet him. I also Paul Shoddy with Head Country. I don't know Paul very well, but I know him from business. My day job, I actually sell printers that put code dates on things like barbecue sauce that says when they were made. And so I started doing business with Paul as he uses my printers several years ago. And just the way he treated me as a vendor, the way he said any questions that I had, he'd be happy to answer. And he just always wants to talk barbecue and just wants to be a nice guy when you meet him. So I really like Paul a lot. And then I got to give a shout out to the guys at Rail Yard Barbecue, Rod Blackburn and Justin Bowman. These two guys, when I showed up to my second contest, I just bought my Yoder pellet smoker. I went to a contest in Sapulpa, Oklahoma, and I was there the night before, and all these good old boys were just absolutely harassing me that, if you didn't build it, you shouldn't be allowed to cook on it, and we're going to pull the electricity out on you the night before and ruin the cook and just this stuff. And these guys walked up to me as I was walking back to my RV, and they said, that's hogwash. You do your thing. Don't listen to them. They taught me all kinds of. I had no clue what competition barbecue was about. And these guys pulled me into the trailer and just taught me a lot of things. And I said, "Why are you guys sharing your secrets?" And they're like, we want to compete with the best. We want everybody to do as well as they can in competition barbecue. And if you beat us, even using our secrets, then that just means we have to step up our game. And I thought that was fantastic. So good guys there.
All right, Doug, your favorite barbecue folks?
Well, first comes to mind is people in Texas, and I had 3 in Texas. Darwin Howell.
Yep.
He's a mentor of mine. I was actually there for his first grand champion and my first reserve grand champion about 9 years ago. But he is a mentor to a lot of people in Texas. And if you ask him what his recipes are, he'll tell you. And he'll help you and do all kinds of things. Craig Sherry, IBCA Executive Director. I respect what he's done for the Texas barbecue community, from all the way from Texas Gulf Coast. Now with IBCA, he's one of the few that's won the San Antonio Rodeo and the Houston Rodeo. He's won San Antonio twice, I believe. and I think he's gotten 5th at the American Royal. He has 50 GCs and RGCs, so he's quite accomplished in addition to his Texas pepper jelly products. I also give a shout out to CJ, my Clarence Joseph. Man, he is a stand-up guy. Yep. If you want someone and you have something that you need, CJ's going to do it. He's just a man of his word. On a national scale, I'll agree with what Steve said in terms of the Professor Tuffy Stone and his father George in France. Kind of all three of them, very nice, very willing to talk to you. No airs about them. Darren and Sherry Worth. They are so relaxed, and I think they are the winningest barbecue team, at least from what my perspective in the last 10 years, and just the nicest guy. Grills Gone Wild, Iowa, Steve, Kathy Nilsson, and Mike and Joe Allen, we hooked up, we cooked with them next to them at Champions Row at Houston. They had won the Royal, and we hooked up with them again last year at the Royal and went to the Jack with them. Just no problem sharing everything. We shared secrets back and forth and just had a great time. And they wound up doing really well at the Jack last year. Danielle BBQ Bennett. She has a marketing background that I didn't appreciate when I first met her. She has taught me a lot. She is an OCD workaholic behind the scenes. She has a lot of fun and games and loves to train people and educate people, and that's what really drives her now. But I've learned a lot in terms of the marketing from Danielle. The Florida guys, Chad and Griff and Plastic Man, Tim Malloy and Matt Barber. That when Steve, we were at the World Food Championship. That was just a great event, and getting to really know some of those guys. And then last but not least is Paul Shoddy, like David said, in terms of I've just known him a year and a half, and it feels like I've known him for a decade. And I just feel that he's just one of those honest guys. And I really think he doesn't get the recognition that he deserves, being the first one to win the Royal and the Jack. I believe it was in 1994. And he's been cooking since 1990. Yep. And he's just a very unassuming type guy. And I just don't think he gets the recognition he deserves.
Yeah, I would be happy to generate some kind of a list here, but I've had so many people. I think it's not fair for me to sit there and do a list, because I probably get the best side of people every single time they come on the show, because they know that I could turn around and go NBBQA on it if I wanted to. So I think I'm always getting the best side of everybody. Now, I will call somebody out by name, and I've had him on the show a number of times, and everybody knows who he is. It's Chris Lilly from Big Bob Gibson. But even outside of the interview, he is incredibly grounded, incredibly grateful, incredibly appreciative, but you can also tell that he works really hard at what he's doing, both from a competition standpoint and in the restaurant standpoint. So I just wanted to kind of give him a shout out, because he also gave a great interview over the course of the NBBQA live shows that I did a couple weeks ago. So there you have it. All right, another successful embedded correspondence segment. We have the embedded correspondent, longest running embedded correspondent, Doug Scheiding from Texas. We have Steve Ray from Tennessee and David Huff from Oklahoma. Gents, always appreciate the time, and we'll see you again next month. There they go. That is the...
All guests appear via the Traeger Grills
Embedded
hotline.
Grills correspondent. Embedded Grills.
Yummy.
Well, I know I'm going to go over here, so I got to stop top of the hour. And then we'll get this read in, and then we'll call it a night. All right, let me talk to you quickly about Cook Shack, by the way. Paul Shoddy giving a number of shout-outs. I met Paul in person at NBBQA, and I will admit, incredible human being. Hey, Cook Shack manufactures smoker ovens for barbecue lovers with any amount of experience, whether you barbecue in the backyard, on the competition circuit, or in a 5-star dining facility. You have the proper unit that will do the job and do it well. Plus, they have a full line of barbecue sauces, spices, pellets, wood chunks. It's kind of the perfect one-stop shop. Cook Shack strives to be your barbecue resource center by offering cooking classes, online recipes, how-to videos, 2 blogs, smoke and grilling 101s, and a video cooking classroom. Check out their website at cookshack.com or follow them on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Pinterest, Google+. Get advice and share your passion for barbecue on their world-class barbecue forum. Cook Shack pellet-fired smokers are the choice of champions because they were designed by a champion, Ed Fast Eddie Moore. The FEC 100, PG 1000, always customer favorites. The PG 1000 can actually double as a smoker and a grill. Low and slow, hot and fast. Pellet grill line gives you the most for your money. Cook Shack residential electric smokers are the #1 smoker in the industry. High quality means high durability and versatility. Anything you can cook in your oven, you can make in a Cook Shack. Passion and dedication drives Cook Shack's manufacturing, with quality always being at the top priority list. Get the best in barbecue since 1962. Call 800-423-0698. That's 800-423-0698, or call Cook Shack, or visit cookshack.com. All right, let's wrap it up. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Whole packers, full racks, legs and thighs, injecting butts. If you've never heard this before, you might think you found the best XXX show ever. Let's get back to the most homoerotic host out there today, Greg Rempe.
All right, welcome back. Thanks again to the embedded correspondents, Doug Scheiding, Steve Ray, Dave Huff, Texas, Tennessee, Oklahoma, respectively. Backyard Barbecue Show, awesome segment. Thank you, Kinger. Awesome booze teen recipe. I'll say it on the way out. If you just tuned into the show, Jason King did a booze teen video. That is vodka-laced Kentucky fried chicken gravy over homemade French fries with cheese curds. That's the poutine. The vodka makes it booze teen. Go to the top of the show on the video side and watch it if you missed it. You'll be happy that you did. All the way back in the first hour, it was Steven Reichel. No, it was not. But we muddled through. Then it was Max Good from AmazingRibs.com breaking down some Vesta Award winners that he saw at the HPB Expo a couple weeks ago. And then the second hour, again, embedded Texas correspondent Doug Scheiding, Tennessee correspondent Steve Ray, and Oklahoma correspondent David Huff refired the embedded correspondence segments. Big show planned for you next week, so look forward to that. We're starting yet a new month. It will be April before you know it. That'll be a visit from the good doctor, so it'll always be good to check up with him. We might have a Mike McLeod sighting. Stay tuned for that. World Food Championships final table coming up shortly. September 11th, 2001. I will never forget. Until next Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, this is your program host and proud U.S. American, Greg Rempe. Good night now.